Okay, let's challenge ourselves. We're going to be doing add strings. Okay. Given two non-negative integers, num1, num2 representing string, return the sum num1, num2 as a string. Okay. And you must not convert, you can't use built-in libraries, and you can't convert the inputs directly. Okay, so it says directly, so let's just do it indirectly. What I'm going to do is how would I go about this? Indirectly, I want to add two strings. I want to add the numbers as strings. I can't do it directly. How would I do this? How would I do this? How would I do this? I want to return as a string. Return the sum as a string. How the fuck would I do this? Okay. No built-in large, okay, big integer. You can't convert the integers directly, so the only way I could think about doing this is if I convert to array. Okay, so the way I'm going to do this is I'm gonna create I was gonna do the 1s, 10s, 100s to the end. So basically I could go 1, 10, 100. For example, I could split this into an array, add them, and then as it goes up, as I add the next index, I just go index times 10 to the 10 times the index value. So if it's 10 times 0, just gonna make it 1. 10 times thing is 10. The second index would be 10. The third index will be 10 to the 2. The fourth index will be 10 to the 3, right? I could do that. And just add them indirectly like that. Add strings. How's this an easy question? I'm like struggling to think of this. Contains only digits. Don't have leading zeros except for the 0 itself. Yeah, the way I'm thinking about doing it is just make them the same length, add leading zeros to the one that's smaller if it's different, and then break it up into an array, add the array components, and then multiply by 10 to the power of whatever array position to get a total. And then that way I'm not directly doing it as an integer. So let's start by doing that. How would I do this? Return the sum of num1 and 2 as a string. If I can't just convert them, oh wait, I could just do it with totals. I could just recreate this as the total. I can't convert the inputs directly, but I can indirectly do it. So what I could do is total. So tot 1 is total 1. Let's make that 0. Tot 2 is total 2. Make that 0 as well. Right? If they give us constraints, we can always work around those constraints. Right? So I'll show you guys how to do this. It's just about being crafty, you know? So what I'm going to do is all I'm going to do is take the string itself. String, I was going to do it and create it into an array, but I don't have to do that because you can already just reference the string positions as your, like you would do in an array. So if you go array position 0, that would also be the string position 0. Right, so string position 0 would be 1, string position 1 would be 1. String position 0 would be 1, string position 1 would be 2, 2 would be 3, right? The same way an array would be. If you were to split it into individual array components, it's the same thing. So you could use a string as you would an array. All you have to do is reference the index. So the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create 2 loops, recreate the integer value through strings. So I'm going to go for I index is 10 times I. So for let's call it multiplier. So at position 0, at position 1, I want it to be 10. At position 2, so for example, at position 0, I want it to be 1. But it's 0. So it's going to be 10 to the power of I minus 1 to get 0. At position 1, I want it to be times 10. So it's going to be what's going to be I plus 1. 10 to the power of 0, because position 0, so it's going to be I plus 1. Then it's going to be 10 to the power of 1. Okay, so it could just be 10 to the power of I. Because 10 to the power of I is going to be 0 yeah, it's going to be 0 times so 10 to the power of 0 is 1. 1 times that times 1 is 1. Then 10 to the 1 times 1 is 1. Then 10 to the power of so first I want to reverse both strings. That's what this is telling me as well. Because 1, 2, 3 at 10 to the power of 1, it's going to be times that times 2. It's going to be 20. 10 to the power of 2 is 100 times that. I want this to be 100. So I have to reverse the string because it's going to start at 3. Right? So if it starts at 3, I want this to start at 3 and be 10 to the power of 0. So I have to first reverse both strings. So I'm going to call this rev num1. Rev num1 equals num1 negative 1. So I reverse that string. Rev num2 num2 -1. So I reverse both strings, then I go rev num1. For I in range 0 to the length of rev num1 multiplier, so it's going to be, just to make it simple, let's get rid of this now that we know what that is. Or we could leave it. Tote 1 plus equals the index 1 times 10 to the power 0. So 10 to the power of 0 is 1 times the first index. So I'm going to get, for example, 3, because I want it to be backwards. It's going to be 3, 2, 1. This is going to be 3, 2, 1, because I reversed the string. So 3 times 1 is 3. That's good. The next one is going to be 10 to the power of 1. So 2 times 10, 20. That's good. And 2 times 100. So I'm going to pretty much recreate this digit as is, and then just convert it back to a string at the end. So what I'm going to do is total 1 rev times multiplier. So it's going to be rev num1 at the position I times the multiplier. Perfect. Then I just do it again for the second number. Boom. Change this to rev num2. Rev num2 times the multiplier. Now I get these two numbers as integers. Then I just gotta add them. So then I gotta add them and convert it to a string. So all I have to do is this now. I could just go return string or str tote 1 plus tote 2. And I can't convert to integers directly, so I do it indirectly. I add the string elements, convert them to integers, add them to total. And then, oh wait, I gotta make this tote 2. Boom. And then I just convert the tote 1 plus tote 2 back to a string, and then it should give me this output. Let's try it. Int Unicode. Oh, it's still a string, so I have to go like this. I can't convert the whole input, so I just convert pieces of the input. That's still legal. That's still allowed. Boom. Submit. Boom. Beats 5.19%. It's not optimal, but it does the job. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm not allowed to directly convert these to integers, but I can convert each individual number and then just add its position. So I can add 3 plus 20 plus 100 to get 123 again, instead of just converting the string directly to 123. That's what I did here. And then I can't get 11 directly by converting it to the number, so I have to go 1 plus 10. And that's what I did here with the multiplier. And then I just convert to a string at the end by adding the two totals and converting that total integer to a string. Done. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. Knologist out.